In the last class, we discussed Newton's rings under reflected system. There we derived expressions for the diameters of the nth dark and nth bright rings. Two short questions that can be asked from Newton's rings are, first one, why fringes are circular in the interference pattern of Newton's rings. Second one, why we are getting a dark spot at the center of interference pattern in Newton's rings under reflected system. For doing problems, you must remember this formula. Dn square is equal to 4Rn lambda, where Dn is the diameter of the nth dark ring, capital R is the radius of curvature of the planar convex lens, lambda is the wavelength of the incident light, and n is the order of the ring. Applications of Newton's rings. First one is to determine the wavelength of a monochromatic source of light. And second one is to determine the refractive index of a given liquid. Both these applications have been included as experiments in our lab codes too. So first application, determination of wavelength of light using Newton's rings. Let Dn and Dm be the diameters of the nth and mth dark rings respectively, such that n is greater than m. Now you can write the formula for dark ring for the nth dark ring as dn square is equal to 4Rn lambda. For the mth dark ring as dm square is equal to 4Rm lambda. So on subtracting both these equations, you get dn square minus dm square is equal to 4Rn minus m into lambda, or lambda is equal to dn square minus dm square whole divided by 4R into n minus m. So if you are given the diameters of two dark rings, you can find the wavelength of the incident light, provided you know the radius of curvature of the planar convex lens. Please note this formula because you will be doing problems using it. Also, this is the first experiment that you are doing in your lab course. The second application is determination of refractive index of a liquid. Let Dn and Dm be the diameters of the nth and mth dark rings respectively, with a film between the planar convex lens and the plane glass plate. From this formula that we just wrote for the first application, we can write the value of dn square minus dm squared as lambda into 4R into n minus m. This is given as equation 1. So in this case, we had air film between the planar convex lens and the plane glass plate. Now we are going to incorporate a liquid between the planar convex lens and the plane glass plate. So when a liquid is placed between the planar convex lens and the plane glass plate, that is when we have a liquid film instead of air film in Newton's rings, what do you think? Will the diameter increase? That is, the diameter of the rings, will they increase or will they decrease, or there will be no change in the diameter of the rings? Hope you remember this slide we used while discussing the Newton's rings essay. This slide it gives the diameter of the nth dark ring. Now the condition for destructive interference or darkness, they wrote it as 2t is equal to n lambda. Here we got a 2t because there was air film between the planar convex lens and the glass plate. The mu was equal to 1, so it was 2t. But now if you are incorporating a liquid, then you would have to write 2 mu t instead of 2t. So 2 mu t is equal to n lambda, or 2t is equal to n lambda by mu. So mu it will come in the denominator. This in the final expression also mu comes below lambda. That is the expression for the dark ring, it becomes 4Rn lambda by mu. That means the diameter it decreases. Similar for the case of bright rings also, there also the diameter of the bright rings decrease when you place a liquid between the planar convex lens and the glass plate. So here the correct answer is diameter of the rings decreases. That is, when we have a liquid film instead of air film in Newton's rings, the fringe system as a whole, it will shrink. That is, the diameter of the dark and bright rings, it will decrease. Now coming back to the second applications that we were discussing, where here dn and dm are the diameters of the nth and mth dark rings with air film between the glass plate and the planar convex lens. Now you introduce a liquid between the glass plate and the planar convex lens and again measure the diameters of the same nth and mth rings. Now you know that the diameters, it will decrease, and let dn dash and dm dash be the diameters of those same rings, that is nth and mth rings with a liquid film between the planar convex lens and the glass plate. Now you can write this equation as d dash n square minus d dash m square, it is equal to 4r into n minus m into lambda. Now here we have to introduce mu in the denominator, because the diameter, it will decrease. Please note that in equation 1, these diameters we got using air film, that is dn and dm. Whereas in equation 2, these diameters we got, that is d dash m and d dash n, we got while using liquid film. Now you divide these two equations. On dividing equation 1 by 2, you will get the value of refractive index mu as dn square minus dm square by d dash n square minus d dash m square. Please remember this equation. You will have to do problems using this, and also in the lab course also, as a second experiment, we have this application. So next we are going to discuss air wedge. I hope you are familiar with this shape, wedge shape. We have wedge shape shoes. This is a shape of a wedge. So when you have an air film in the shape of a wedge, we call it as air wedge. Hope you remember, in Newton's rings, the basic apparatus, it consists of a planar convex lens placed over a plain glass plate. Whereas in air wedge, we have two glass plates inclined at an angle theta with each other. Hope you remember, in Newton's rings, we started the essay by saying that there is an air film between the planar convex lens and the glass plate, and later in the application we introduced a liquid film between the planar convex lens and the glass plate. Whereas in air wedge, we start the essay by saying that there is a liquid film between the two glass plates. Later on, when you put mu is equal to 1 in this essay, then you will get air film instead of liquid film, and then we will say that this is an air wedge. So initially when you start this essay, you are assuming that there is a liquid between the two inclined glass plates. Also, one more thing regarding the shape of fringes. In Newton's rings, fringes were in the shape of concentric rings. That is, we had alternate dark and bright rings. That is, the fringes, they were in the shape of a circle, because the air film, it was actually in the shape of a hollow cylinder. So when you look from above, it was in the shape of the locus of all the points which had the same thickness of air film. It was in the shape of a circle when you look from above. So we had circular fringes in the case of Newton's. Now when you come to air wedge, let us see what will be the shape of the this film. Here we have a liquid film. You consider a liquid film of thickness T at a distance x from the edge of the wedge. So this point is called the edge of the wedge. So this liquid film of thickness T, it is drawn here. It is actually this shape. It is in a rectangular shape, and when you view from above, it is the locus of the points having the same thickness of the air film or the liquid film. It is in the shape of a line. So in air wedge you are getting bands as fringes. In Newton strings we are getting fringes in the shape of concentric rings, that is alternate dark and bright rings, whereas in air wedge you are getting bands, alternate dark and bright bands, because here the air film, it is in the form of it is in a rectangular shape. So when you look from above, it is in the form of a line, because the rays, it gets reflected from the top layer and bottom layer, and depending on the condition, you will get either a constructive interference, that is you will either get a bright band or a dark band. This is how the fringes look like in air wedge. You can see that they have alternate dark and bright bands. Hope you remember the first essay that you studied in interference for +2. It was Young's double slit experiment. It was Young's who first demonstrated this phenomena of interference in a laboratory using this Young's double slit experiment. There also you are getting alternate dark and bright bands. Then you derived the expression for bandwidth beta. What was that bandwidth? What was its definition? Bandwidth is a distance between two consecutive dark bands or two consecutive bright bands, or one bright band and a dark band. It also constitutes a bandwidth. So in this essay also, in this essay of air wedge also, you will derive an expression for bandwidth. So we can start air wedge. The first point is, consider a wedge consisting of two thin glass plates slightly inclined to each other at an angle theta and enclosing a liquid of refractive index mu. So here we have two glass plates which are inclined at an angle theta, and it is enclosing a liquid film of refractive index mu. So here this is not air wedge, but at the end of the essay we will we will say that mu is equal to 1. For air it is mu is equal to 1, and then you will say it is an air wedge. But on starting the essay we will say that there is a liquid film between the two glass plates. Now, when this liquid film, it is illuminated normally by monochromatic light, that is when a light falls normally on this wedge, interference occurs between the light rays reflected from the top and bottom surface of the film. That is, the light rays, it gets reflected from the top layer and also from the bottom layer. So these two reflected rays, they will undergo interference, and depending upon the condition you will get either a dark band or a bright band, because the air film or the liquid film, it is in the shape of a rectangle. So when seen from above, it is like a line. That's why you are getting bands. Let us suppose that this thin film of thickness T satisfies the condition for constructive interference. So on looking from above, you can see a bright band there. Now consider another film of thickness T dash very close to this thin film T. It may satisfy the condition for destructive interference. So you may see a dark band near to this bright band. Again, here also you may get a dark band for another thickness T double dash. So for each thickness of this air film, it alternatively satisfies the condition for constructive and destructive interference, and you will get alternate dark and bright bands when you look from above. Now consider an air film of thickness T at a distance x from the edge of the wedge. This is called the edge of the wedge. Now, what is the path difference between the rays? The apparent path difference, it is given as 2 mu t cos r. Here also, since the rays are falling normally, the angle of refraction r will be 0 and cos 0 is 1. Therefore, it becomes delta is equal to, the apparent path difference, it is delta is equal to 2 mu t. From the figure, what is the value of tan theta? Tan theta is opposite side by adjacent side. Therefore, tan theta is equal to t by x. Now, we can write the value of t as equal to x tan theta. The apparent path difference delta is equal to 2 mu t. So, instead of t, you can write x tan theta. So, delta is equal to 2 mu x tan theta. Now you have to write the conditions for constructive and destructive interference. For brightness, it is 2 mu x tan theta is equal to 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2, and for darkness, it is 2 mu x tan theta is equal to n lambda. Please remember, both these equations are important while writing this essay for exam. Most often, students won't write this equation because we are going to derive expression for bandwidth. We can actually derive the equation for bandwidth either using the condition for darkness or using brightness. Since we are going to proceed using this equation, they often forget to write this condition for brightness. And thereby they will lose marks. So please remember to write both these equations. One more thing, here we are viewing the reflected rays. So this is under reflected system. That is why you have written here the conditions for darkness and brightness for reflected system. Now, after writing both these equations, now you will proceed using the condition for darkness. That is, we are going to derive expression for bandwidth using this condition. Now, what is the value of x? From here, it is x is equal to n lambda by 2 mu tan theta. Now, coming back to bandwidth, what is bandwidth? It is the distance between two consecutive dark bands or bright bands. Let x1 be the distance between the center of the first bright band and the origin, and let x2 be the distance between the center of the second bright band and the origin. So here we have distances of the first bright band and second bright band from a certain origin. It is x2 and x1. Then what will be beta? Beta is the bandwidth, is the distance between two consecutive dark or bright bands. Here, since we have x1 and x2 are the distances for bright bands, here we can two consecutive, that is the first and second bright band, we can write the value of beta as beta is equal to x2 minus x1. Now let's say, let x3 be the distance between the center of the third bright band and the origin. Now, how can you write beta in terms of x3 and x1? We can write actually beta in terms of x3 and x2. That is, beta is equal to x3 minus x2. Okay. Now, how can you write x3 and x1? It will be beta is equal to x3 minus x1 by 2. You have to multiply, you have to divide it by 2. Now, how can you write beta in terms of x4 and x1? It is beta is equal to x4 minus x1 divided by 3, and so on. If x3 and x1 are the distances of the corresponding third and first dark band, then also this is the formula for bandwidth for dark bands as well as for bright bands. Now coming back to the essay, if xn is the distance of the nth dark band from the edge, and that is how here our origin is edge, and xm that of the n plus mth dark band, you can write the values of xn and xn plus m as, here you have to put n, then you will get the value of xn. here instead of n you have to put n plus m, then the expression for xn plus m. Then what will be beta? Beta is equal to xn plus m minus xn whole divided by m. How did we get m? It is n plus m minus n. So that is when you subtract these two equations, and on dividing by m you will get the value of beta as equal to lambda by 2 mu tan theta. Please remember this equation. You have to do problems using this. In this equation for beta, if you put mu is equal to 1, that is you will get air film. Beta is equal to lambda by 2 tan theta. So this is the expression for bandwidth beta with air film between the two glass plates. That is beta is equal to lambda by 2 tan theta. If there is a liquid film between the two glass plates, then the expression becomes beta is equal to lambda by 2 mu tan theta. Actually, we derive this expression starting from the condition for darkness. Now, if you proceed from the condition for brightness, then also you will come to the same expression. Now, what is each fringe? Each fringe, it is the locus of the points where the thickness of the film has a constant value. The same concept which we came across Newton's rings also. So, this is the first part of the essay air wedge, where we derived expression for bandwidth beta. In the second part of the essay, we are going to determine the diameter of a thin wire using this air wedge setup. Hope you remember this experimental setup that we used for Newton's rings also. Here, instead of planar convex lens and the glass plate, we are placing two glass plates, and this is the wire. It's a cross section of the wire. It is this wire's diameter that we are going to determine. So when you place this wire at the end of the two glass plates, an air wedge of this shape is formed between the two glass plates. So here we are having a air film in the shape of a wedge. This is the diagram for the second part of the essay. Then you have to describe it. So a thin wire is wound near one end of a plain glass plate. Another plate is kept over it so that they touch along one edge, and a wedge-shaped air film is formed between them. A parallel beam of monochromatic light falls normally on the wedge. The interference pattern is observed by a microscope focused onto the wedge. Let D be the diameter. Let D be the diameter of the wire and L be the length of the wedge. Here, length of the wedge, actually it is the distance between the edge of the wedge and the wire at the center of the wire. So this distance, it is usually referred as length of the wedge, L. Length of the wedge, L. So if this angle, it is theta, tan theta, it is opposite side by adjacent side. That is tan theta is equal to D by L. But we know that bandwidth beta for air film between the two glass plates, it is beta is equal to lambda by 2 tan theta. Substitute for tan theta here, then you will get the value of beta as lambda L by 2D, or D, the value of D can be written as the diameter of the wire can be written as lambda L by 2 beta. Please remember this equation. You will need this for doing problems, as well as there is an experiment called air wedge for your lab course. There also you're using the same equation. D is equal to lambda L by 2 beta, where L is the length of the wedge, lambda is the wavelength of the incident light, and beta is the bandwidth. Also add 2 points regarding how will you determine beta and L. If R1 is the reading of a particular nth dark band, and if R2 is the reading of the n plus 20th dark band, then beta can be written as R2 minus R1 by 20. Also, if R3 is the reading of the edge of the wedge and R4 is the reading corresponding to the position of the wire, then the length of the wedge can be written as R4 minus R3. In the next class, we will discuss the following short questions: anti-reflection coatings, thick and thin films, colors in thin films, and also problems based on Newton's rings and air wedge.